What's up, everybody? Today I'll be showing you how we can consistently improve our return on ad spend with a specific system that I'll show you that is repeatable. This type of system make you not even touch your ad and you will increase your return on ad spend. You don't have to spend more time in Ad Manager or create new ads. Let's dive in and let's look at how we can do this. So first and foremost, you need to see the whole ad space in your website as one big whole machine. So essentially what's happening is that your ads are getting the traffic and then they're sending it to your website. And then your website, its job is to convert it. And by converting people, it's going to return the ad spend on the return or the return on the ad spend to your ad platform. And this is where you see it. So we can see that the website actually matters quite a lot here. So in this image, we can see a bucket, fill a hole. I'm pretty sure you already know about this analogy. There's a bunch of leak on the bucket, meaning that your traffic is leaking. And this is actually the case for most people. This is why this example is so great. So, and there's a way to actually fix this and get more of this potential water that is slipping to remain in the bucket, meaning that we will get more money in our bucket. So let's examine a first example of what a typical scenario looks like. So people, let's say someone have like a return on ad spend of like 2 and they're spending 50K on ads. Now it's gonna give them back 100K, right? Pretty straightforward. But let's say this person want to increase the volume of it, right? So they will actually just increase their ad spend, which gonna result into having just twice as much. It's always gonna be twice. We need to actually have a better system than actually doing this. Can we do better than this? Of course we can. We can just increase the return on ad spend. If we put it to 3, then we will have 200K at the end, right? So how do we increase this return on ad spend? So I'll show you this. And before that, let's examine what's the big difference between those two scenarios. The scenario where we just increase the money that we spend, and if we increase the return on ad spend. So we can see that the more money we put on the ad spend, the more money we will have on the bank, but this is just linear. So this is going to be looking like a line like this, just a straight line essentially. It's not that fun to see, but if you increase your return on ad spend, this is what your money in the bank will look like. Going to be an exponential essentially. You can see that from here to here, this is money we haven't spent, meaning that this is more money in your pocket, meaning that this is much more efficient to work this way. Working on your website is much more efficient than actually working on your ads campaign. And the reason is that the return on ad spend gets bigger when you do this. So let's look at an example and I'll show you what I mean. So let's say we spend 500K on ads and we get 1 million traffic. This make us a cost per acquisition of $0.5 per click. And let's assume our conversion rate is 2%. This means that we get 20K visitors, right? Cost per acquisition is $25 because it's the ad spend divided by the conversion, the number of people that actually converted. Yeah, so let's also assume that we have an average order value of $50. This means that we have a revenue per visitor of only $1 for this example. Now, if we calculate the revenue, we can just do simple math. Revenue per visitor times the traffic, it returns us $1 million. And if we look at our return on ad spend here, it's going to be the revenue divided by the ad spend that we have, and it's going to be a 2, which is decent. But we can probably do better if we just try to increase one of these factors, one of these metric, which in this instance just increasing conversion. If we increase conversion by 0.1%, in turn, this is 1,000 more people that actually convert. If we have more people that convert, this means the cost per acquisition goes down. You can see here that we're saving $1.2 per person that we acquire. This is money straight up in our pocket because this affects directly the margin. This is the cost per acquisition. This is the cost of goods sold actually. So if we just increase by 0.1% the conversion rate and we keep the same average order value, the revenue per visitor increase, meaning we get more revenue And we can see here it's just by 0.1% in this example, it's going to yield a 50K increase in revenue, and the ad spend actually increase. And there's an even better scenario, because when we actually try to increase conversion, what often happening is that we increase the average order value. So if we look at this example, there's going to be an improvement of 0.1% in conversion, meaning 1,000 new customer, but also an increase of 5% in the average order value. This will not affect the cost per acquisition, but this will affect the revenue per visitor. And this in turn will increase your revenue by quite a lot. We can see here 102K. That's a lot. And your return on ad spend will also increase here. So how can we achieve this? Well, there's a specific way of doing it, and it's with what is called conversion rate optimization. I prefer to call it revenue optimization, but this is the name that is commonly used in the industry, which is a bad name. But we do this by doing a behavior analysis. We look at our heat map, we look at our store data to figure out what's happening. We need to look at the message clarity to make sure it's not confusing, it's clear. We need to fix all the weak points and handle most of the objection that the customer have. We also need to do some visual hierarchy to make sure that the right element on the page are actually guiding people to the right place, right? And we also need to prioritize or focus our changes that we make on the website to impact the most visitor possible. There's a lot going on here, and there's a lot of options and things that we can do. So it can look quite complicated. So that's why I'm going to show you one example that we did for one of our clients. We can see here we have two different versions, the before and after. And what we did in this version is that we simply added, we remove actually the 30 gummies, which is the number of gummies in the bag. This was for a CBD gummy, essentially. So we highlighted the background and we just moved it a little higher so it stands out from everything else. And the reason why we did this is that we looked in the data and it was obvious that people were actually confused about how many of these gummy were inside the bag, because it was different from bag to bag. So this simple change gave us a return of 14.42%. I haven't put it quite right, but there it is. 14.42% revenue per user. And you can see right here, we have the A/B test result directly. This is a return of 20K more in the bank just by doing this simple change. So I encourage you, look at your website, make sure every objection is handled. It's clear, it's easy to find. If you don't know exactly what to look for, look at your heat maps. They will help you like a ton. So this is it for this video. So if you guys want a 10 or 20% revenue lift, book a free discovery call with me, or just DM me CRO and I will send you free resources so you can try to implement those changes by yourself. But everything relies on your data, and we can help you with that. And if you guys decided to book a free discovery call with us and we work together, we have a specific guarantee where we will increase your conversion rate or your revenue by 10% a minimum. And if we don't, we will work for free until we get there. So this is it for the video, guys. I encourage you to look at your data, try to make those changes. And if you have questions, just hit me up and I'll see you in the next one.